Oh, there it go. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all see that red box over there. Oh, I always get that mixed up. It's over here in the corner. But yo, y'all know who it is. It is the two-time ATL's hottest DJ, the God DJ Agony, also known as Dr. Dope. Well, our motto is simple: own the building. And you know, every time I come up in here on a Friday night, just looking at that box right there, something's dope is gonna be going on. Somebody dope is gonna be sitting in that box on my left. And so normally we here for a lot of fun and games. We trip out. We talk about video games. We talk about a little bit of everything. You know, we can have sexperts and we got esteemed doctors. Well, we got the latter this week. Go ahead and tell them who you is, brother. Introduce yourself and tell these folks who you is and what you do, sir.
Well, first of all, let me say, man, I appreciate the invitation, man. Like anytime you bring somebody on your platform to share your platform, that's love. That's love, man. And so
Oh,
I
no
really do
doubt.
appreciate that. So my name is Craig Boykin. I ain't no DJ. You know, I like the DJ, but I can't DJ. That ain't my skilo. That ain't what I do. But my name is Craig Boykin. I'm a lot of things. And we'll get into some of that. But right now, I am a professional speaker, an educational consultant. Basically, this is gonna trip you out. I'm a high school dropout who now I train teachers professionally. Let that soak in. I'm a high school
Mm.
dropout who trains teachers on how to deal with potentially high school dropouts. I didn't even know my job exists. If you would have asked me 20 years ago what I want to do, I didn't even know that this was a real thing that people do. So I've written a lot of books, a lot of which we gonna talk about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I travel all around the country. My wife is a second grade teacher. I have 4 kids, a 23-year-old daughter, and I have 3 sons, 7, 4, and 2. And man, I look forward to the dialogue tonight with you, Doc.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's interesting how because when looking through your website, I mean I saw a saying and I've been hashtagging it every time I post you, I hashtag it GED to PhD. Like, I mean, mind you, the brother just told you he dropped out of high school and now trains teachers.
Bro, it sounds crazy. I tell people, think about it like, I got in trouble for talking too much in school, Doc. Guess what I
Now you get and now you get paid to talk.
now now I get paid to talk, bro. Matter of fact, not only do I get paid to talk, I get paid to talk in school, like to teachers. And they gotta sit there and listen to me, man. But yeah, you know, I'm not the only person that has ever that ever went from a GD to a PhD. Eric Thomas, he got this, you know, he dropped out, he got a PhD. So there are a couple people who who have went from a GED to PhD, but I've kind of made that hashtag mine. I've kind of my Twitter handle is GD to PhD. My Instagram is GD to PhD. So I
Hmm.
kind of got a hold of it for anybody else, man. But you don't hear that a lot. I mean, not a lot of jokers drop out of high school, man, and can say they went all the way to a PhD. And so it's just I wasn't planning on it. I can't sit here and lie and be like, man, when I dropped out of high school, I knew I had a plan out. Man, that ain't what happened, bro. I went through
No.
life. You know what I'm saying? I went out there in the real world, man. Got me a little girlfriend. She was a professional dancer, and I ain't talking about ballet. You know what I'm saying? I messed around, got her pregnant, and after get her pregnant, we split up. She put me on child support. Then I went to jail for one night, and before I went to jail, I actually got shot. My brother was in the. You grew up around the same time I did, so you know we had Crip, Folk, Blood.
Right.
Disciple, you know, we had Vice Lord. So my brother was a folk gangster disciple. He got into a fight with some Bloods, and he called me to the bowling alley, man. So I went to the bowling alley, picked my brother up, and I won in the game. But you know how it goes, street code. If
You
you
feel
win, yeah, I'm
you,
guilty by association, right?
yeah, you affiliated.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
I got my brother in my truck. I'll never forget. I had a '91 Explorer, Eddie Bauer Explorer. Had two 15s in the back.
Oh, you
Uh,
had a 91 Explorer?
Eddie Bauer,
It
91.
was
This was
was
not.
crazy.
This
I was pushing the 89 Jimmy at that time.
I remember that's like the Blazer.
Yeah.
That was like a Blazer. Yep.
Uh-huh.
They just knock a little bit harder when you put them speakers in the back. And so yeah, I had the Eddie Bauer Explorer. I begged my grandma to buy this truck for me. Now I had two 15s in the back. I went to the bowling alley. I got my brother in the front seat. Two of his partners was in the back, man. We pulled up to this traffic light. I ain't know. We got the Master P playing. I got 15, so we beating the block down. All of a sudden, these Bloods pull up and shot my whole truck up front to back, man. Dude in the back seat was shot in the head. I got shot in the arm. 2 weeks later, I got arrested, man. I never forget, bro. I went to jail. First time I ever went to jail. And I ain't no little dude. I'm like 6'3", you know what I'm saying? So I ain't no
Okay.
little dude, man. But I'm sitting on the bench and I see this dude, man. He kept looking at me. And then he started smiling, and then he started unbuttoning his jumpsuit. And I'm like, bro, I'm about to have to kill this dude here. It ain't going down. It ain't finna go down like you think it's finna go down. You know what I'm saying? Like you
It's
gonna have to
like, man,
fight
I
with me,
came in here for a misdemeanor and about to leave with a felony.
man, bro, with murder, right? Because
Right.
you gonna have to fight for my booty, right? And so it ain't gonna be that. But that was what I needed, man. Because I'm sitting there like, bro, this can't be the mindset of these dudes in here. Like, dude, really looking at me like I'm a female at the club, like he want me. So I went to court, man, and I told the judge, like, Your Honor, I can't do this. And so that's what got me on the right track, man. I ain't been back since. That was last
Hey,
time. I tell when I speak to young kids in school, I tell them, man, look, y'all need to rethink what y'all doing out here in these streets, man. Cause taking shower with dudes for the next 20 years ain't in my future. Like I don't have no desire to take a shower with you, DJ, as a cellmate for the next 20 years,
nah,
bro.
it's definitely not on my to-do list. It's like,
No.
this interview was about as far as it go. Maybe we could meet up in person, have a coffee. I could, I've already purchased a couple of books. Like, that's my thing. But never have I said, man, I want to go get in the shower with that dude. Never have I ever. Goddamn. I got a couple of folks in the building, man. Yo, big shouts out to my boy Big Country 50 in the building. Also, my boy Jones with the Corey's Heavenly Cakes in the building. Yo, cakes and muffins. That's what he known for. So get at him. And he apparently he's into metaphysics as well. Big shouts out to my crew, man. But yeah, man. So you know what was crazy about it? We talk about getting into, say tonight's discussion, recidivism as a word that's often thrown around. It took you one night. One night. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was a little hard headed. It took me 8 days. 8 days. And I was just like, yeah, I can't do I don't 8 days on two trips make it so bad. And I was just like, yeah, I don't see how people could do this for years at a time.
It
At a
took my bro
time.
10. It took my bro 10. And the crazy thing about it is he went to prison when he was 17, stayed 3 years. Joker got out after 3 years, went back 6 months after getting out after three. Went back the second time for 10. Got out,
Mm.
got out in 2012, stayed out, and just went back in January for another three. Like
You talking about this January?
2022. He in there right now.
Like 9 months ago.
He stayed out. He stayed out from 2012 until 2022, and he just got locked back up. Now, I don't think he did what he was he had a little baby mama, but he was messing with his chick on the side. He was going to get ready to get married to his baby mama, so he's gonna do the right thing and let the little side piece go. She wasn't having none of that. So she called the folks knowing he on parole, bro, and told him that he beat her up, he had a gun. Anytime they get something that about a felon, they gonna pull up on you. So they pulled up on him. He had none, but I don't know if people know this, bro. As a felon, you can't have contact with the police. Like they can lock you back up for the rest of your time if they just pull you over for a traffic stop. Like you cannot have any contact. So because he had contact, he had to go back and finish the rest of his bid, which was like 3 years to 2025.
Mm.
So it took him a little bit longer, bro. But like it took you 8 days. It took me one night, bro. I like the way my wife smelled. I like the way she looked. I ain't trying to, bro. They tell you when to go to sleep. You use the bathroom in the open in front of everybody. The food is horrible. Like they feed you breakfast like 4 in the morning, lunch at like 10. They do that on purpose. Like
Right.
I think Jeezy said it. Jeezy was like, bro, I ain't trying to go to jail. That's the closest thing I heard to hell. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's real.
yeah, I ain't no. When Jeezy said that, bro, that was real. Like
That's real.
definitely the closest thing to hell we got on earth.
The thing that did it for me was being behind a door that I couldn't open. Like
Mm.
once you hear and you that when that deadbolt hits, it's a humbling sound.
Mm-hmm.
You can get up. I got up all times of the night. Just get up, just pull on the door, see what it move, see what it open. You know what I'm saying? And it was like that for a while. After I got home, I came home. I'm just opening doors just to see if they'll open. I'm like, all right, just checking. That's a closet, but at least it opens. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Like it's a mind thing. Like it's definitely a mind trick. And even getting out, you gotta have a strong mind to say, you know what, I will never do this again.
Yeah, and some people listening say, "Well, that's why they call it prison." Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I, I agree. Now, some people will take it a step further and be like, they put themselves there. Now, that I don't always agree with, because sometimes your situation and your circumstances dictate you doing what you got to do to survive. We both black males, and I'm not even going to sit on this podcast and lie and say I ain't never did nothing that I couldn't end up in prison, because that's a lie. And I ain't just talking about on one hand, right? I can count a bunch of things that I've done that I could have been up the road for whatever reason. It just wasn't in the cards for me. But
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So it ain't always that these boys out here just looking to go. Sometimes, okay, for instance, I'm gonna give you an example. Man, when I was 22, I met this chick. And you probably already know how this story finna go. You know what I'm saying? I met her. We started dating or whatever. She told me she was 18, whoop de whoop. Man, a couple of months later, after we had been together a few times, her mama called me. She 15.
Damn.
I'm like, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, she told the mama was like, look, baby, I know my daughter lie. I know she lied. You know what I'm saying? But just don't ever have contact with her again, and that's it.
I'm
Bro,
like, lady, no problem.
you ain't even got to tell me twice. But you
Shit.
but you understand what I'm saying, though, right? You see,
But and stuff like that be like it's so circumstantial, and then conversation probably went like, because I mean you said you was what, 20,
I'm
22?
22. She fit. Yeah, she told me she was 18.
Probably look 19, 20.
Bro, you got girls right now in sixth grade that look 19. Like some girls develop fast.
I mean,
But
I teach at the middle school, so you
you
preaching to the
already know.
choir now.
Luckily, luckily, man, her mom was understanding, bro, and she know her daughter. But if that would have been a low down mom, I could have did 3 years easy, easy. And so that's what I'm
But
saying. Like,
that 15 to get you 20
yeah,
right quick.
it ain't always what people think, man. Everybody is locked up, And then Tupac said something that I always remember. That man said, "It feel good putting money in your mailbox." You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got no other way to make money but selling dope. Like, so this is all I know. So this is what I'm gonna do. I got babies in there that need Similac, bro. Similac is expensive.
Oh, it gets more and more expensive too as the day goes by.
Bro, I make good money, and I tell people, my 2-year-old turned 1 a year ago. I had the date marked on my calendar in my phone. The day he turned 1, that I could stop buying Similac. That's how bad it got, bro. I did that like 6 months before he turned 1. Like, man, I can't wait for this day to come.
Ooh-wee.
Similac is killing me. But anyway, yeah, man, recidivism, man, is definitely a problem. But we also got to think about it like this, DJ. These guys can't get college degrees. They took all the programs out of prison. They took trade school. So what? They just sitting there and they ain't doing anything. They just sitting idle waiting to get out. Run. They don't have any skills when they get out. They still got a felony. People looking at them sideways. So they setting them up to fail. Setting them
Yeah,
up,
they're setting them up to come back.
basically.
Setting them up to come right back. I mean,
Money thing.
recidivism is a plan. You know what I'm saying? It is definitely a plan thing. It's like, yo, we got to keep these heads rotating in and out. Got to keep them rotating in and out.
You're going to think I'm lying, bro. And this is the God honest truth.
No doubt.
The state of Arizona got sued by one of its prisons. The prison sued the state of Arizona because they said, when we built this prison, y'all guaranteed us a 90% occupancy rate. The prison didn't. The state didn't keep 90% of the prisons, 90% of the occupancy occupied. So the prison sued them because they were missing out on money, and they won $3 million. The state had to pay the prison $3 million because they didn't keep the prison full. Think about that. Which means that there has to be an agenda to arrest people and lock them up.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
It's a cash cow.
It's definitely it definitely is. I mean, it's like they had to figure out, damn, okay, well we can't kidnap and put them at the bottom of a boat anymore. How do we keep these people enslaved?
Now, I don't know how conservative or liberal your show is, but I'm gonna take it a step further.
Man, it's a dope show, and it's Friday night, so say what you want.
So, for decades, hundreds of years, they have been trying to demasculate black men.
Speak on it.
So during slavery, they had a thing called buck breaking.
Buck breaking.
They would take one of the biggest slaves in the camp and tie him down and rape him in front of all the other slaves, all the other men, the other women, the children. The slave master would literally rape this man and then
Mm-hmm.
let everybody know if we do it to the biggest, we'll do it to y'all. So they've been trying to demasculate black men. Now,
Absolutely.
it hadn't been working though. Now, in the 90s, we were thugged out, thug life, pop, you know what I'm saying, pants sagging. Our generation wasn't going for none of that mess.
Nah.
But now they're trying to indoctrinate these babies through cartoons with LGBT stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you don't see the movement, you don't pay attention to what's going on. When I was in school, Doc, they would send home a permission slip for me to do sex ed.
Facts. I remember that.
Why they don't send home permission slips now to talk to our babies about LGBT stuff?
And the thing is, a lot of that really comes down to your administration. You got a smart administration, they'll steer clear far away from that. Do not bring that in here. You see what I'm saying? And that happened. It was the former teacher at the school I'm at that wanted this LGBTQ straight gay. I think it was like the Gay Straight Alliance or something.
Mm.
And the principal was just like, "Yeah, I'm not touching that," and she quit. And it was like one of those type things, like, "Yeah,
Doc, I got in trouble once. Well, I got in trouble a couple of times about this LGBT thing, but I've gotten in trouble a couple of times for it. But I kind of got in. It wasn't hot water, but the principal kind of got in some hot water. They invited me to speak in Michigan. They said, Miss
Okay.
Boykin, what you come here is Michigan, speak to our kids. I'm like, cool, no problem. We got everything situated. I said, I want to speak to the boys and the girls separately. Now, initially, the principal had no problem with it. He understands there's a different message for the boys. There's a different message for the girls. Now, somewhere the parents got a hold of the fact that they're bringing in the speaker that want to separate the boys and the girls. And all hell broke loose, Doc. Why is he separating them? What if I identify as a girl, but I'm a boy? What if I identify a boy if I'm a girl? And I'm like, Doc, come on. But he called me in an uproar. Man, why do you want to separate them? Why you can't just do them all together? I'm like, Doc, it's two different messages. What I talk to the girls about, totally different from what I'm going to talk to the boys about. I said, look, just do it like this. If a girl identifies as a boy and she want to sit in with the boys, just let her sit in with the boys. Like, it ain't that serious, man. I don't really care. Like, but boy, it was all on the news. It was just a big,
Oh shit. That's
bro.
not how you want to make the news, G.
It was crazy, bro. And I'm just shaking my head, like, man. But this is the new normal. This is where we are. This is
This is the new norm is creating. I think it's interesting enough you say that because, like you said, when we had to take that permission slip home for sex ed, they still split us.
basically, yep,
Boys had to do sex ed this week,
yep,
and I'll never forget it was a science center, Fernbank Science Center in North Decatur, is where they took us. And they were like field trip today. I'll never forget the teacher had the thing on her board, field trip today / girls. Wait a minute, so the girls get to go on a field trip and we gotta stay here and do worksheets? So we was tight about that. Then a week later, field trip / boys.
yep.
Yeah, get them worksheets. We
And
about
they
to
were
go.
serious too. If your mama didn't sign that permission slip,
You
you ain't
weren't
going.
going.
No,
You were not going. No,
they didn't play
absolutely
that.
not.
No, they ain't play that. You come here and tell us you forgot you want to. You gonna
Yeah,
be
all right.
spraying in school. Like, yeah,
Hey,
anyway, man. But so we got to do something, man, because when I turn on the news, I don't see 35, 40-year-old men like you and I getting killed going. I see 16, 15, 14-year-old babies getting 50, 60 years life or getting put in the ground. And I'm like, man, y'all ain't even lived yet. You don't even know what it's like to be with a woman. You ain't never went to Vegas. You ain't never even been outside your city, probably. And you get,
right.
come on, bro. We losing. Like Dr. King and Malcolm X ain't died for what we did going through today as a black coat. Like we going backwards.
We down for nothing.
Nothing. Nothing.
Down for nothing. Because it's like you said. I mean, you ain't left the country. You ain't got to see Vegas.
You ain't did nothing.
You know what I'm
You ain't even
saying?
left your city.
Nah, probably ain't been outside 285.
Right. You ain't
I
you ain't even been out the loop, man. Like,
ain't been outside of 285.
so hey, come on, man.
That's
Live.
real. But
Live.
it's one of those things though. And going into the discussion we was having before we went on live, um, a lot of times I look at it and they don't have anything to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll never forget, like going to college, I was so geeked about going to college. I didn't have really a clue what the hell to do once I got there.
Okay.
Not realizing that it's just school away from home, but it's still school. I
Right.
kind of left that part out, and well, my story is I got caught up in the freedom and the DJing, and well, I am a two-time award-winning DJ now, but
Hey man.
yeah, I kind of blew 3 years at college. My first trip through undergrad in the process, but
So
it's
you
one of
started DJing while you was an undergrad.
yeah, I started DJing like freshman year. I,
And you,
I found
and
a
you blew.
radio station. Found a radio station. I was like, oh, this is gonna happen. This is a thing now.
And you blew? Like you just blew up?
Yeah, it blew from there. 17 years old, I earned my first DJ dollar. So, but no, it's like, do they look forward to college? I have to ask the question every year. Do they even look forward to going to prom? We couldn't wait to go to prom, man. I'm taking her, and her.
Big
Now,
facts.
now
Big
you
facts. Like,
Now you probably only taking one, and if either one of the three find out, you going by yourself. But that's beside the point. We was geeked about prom after we went to junior prom. Do they still do junior prom?
I don't even know, bro. That's a good question. I,
You know what I'm saying?
they,
Like, what do they have to look? What do they have to look forward to? And it's like one of the things I often see more often than not is rapping in sports.
that's not it.
Rapping in sports.
And now their new thing is the YouTube, the views and the followers. Like that's about the extent of what they want to do.
Right.
And which is a segue into my book, The Athletic Trap.
Let's
Right?
jump in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So most y'all know that this book right here. This is probably one of my favorite books that I've written. The Athletic Trap: Why Black Males Fall in Love with Sports, Not Education. Now, this is not a book about sports. This is a compare and contrast. What's sexy, what's attractive, what draws them in about sports that doesn't draw them in, about English, about Spanish, about algebra. It was what. And so now I was telling DJ the way this book came about. I was just speaking somewhere, and it just dropped in my speech. And I told everybody in the audience, I was like, "Did y'all hear that? The Athletic Trap. I'm gonna write a book about it." And the audience was like, It's like I heard the anticipation. They were like, "Man, I read that." It took me 3 years, but I finally got this book complete, The Athletic Trap. Now, DJ, there's a story in here. To start
Hmm.
the book out, there's a story in here where I talk about this young girl from Korea,
Okay.
and she comes over here in an exchange program to go to school in the United States in Dallas, Texas. And when she got to the school, first thing she noticed was they got $1 million sports complex, nice soccer fields, baseball fields, gymnasium, football field, and she is just like in awe. Like, man, this looked like the Cowboys Stadium. Like they done spent a lot of money on these sports stuff. Then she got
Hmm.
into school, doc, and her textbooks was missing pages.
Mm.
It was all torn up, and the book was
Mm.
ripped up. And she immediately thought back to Korea, where she's from. Now, side note, Korea is ranked either one or two in the world when it comes to science and math. Like they got their kids' test scores ranked at the very top. So where she
Hmm.
comes from in Korea is the opposite. They got
Right.
state of the art textbooks. They got tablets. They got computers. But when you go to PE, they playing on a dirt field, and they got to bring their own soccer balls from home.
Mm.
Do you see the parallel of what's important?
Mm.
So that's how I started the book off, because you're looking at it like, man, that's crazy. They playing on dirt fields over there in Korea, but they got state of the art stuff in the classroom, which is emphasizing to the kids what's really
Important.
bro. So you and I were just talking about the black gentleman that was killed in Texas
Right.
at the youth game. Sad, I can't remember his name. I posted on my Facebook page, but may he rest in peace. Total,
Absolutely.
total, total tragedy. Total tragedy, man. Man lost his game over a youth. We youth.
Right.
Ain't nobody get paid nothing now. This youth.
No, we talking rec league.
lost his life over that, bro. Like,
And you have to pay to play rec league.
ain't nobody making no money, right? Like you said,
Hell no. The,
recreation.
the the park is making the money.
Basically, I don't even know if the coaches get paid in little league football. I don't even think they get paid
Mm-mm. Probably not.
because
It's
it's really supposed to be for fun, and we're teaching them sportsmanship, we're teaching them teamwork. This is the stuff that's supposed. But you and I know. Well, I don't know if you know, but in my book I talk about this. Do you know? Of course, the NFL is the biggest gaining when it comes to sports. They gross like I think 20 something $billion a year when it comes to money. That's they're the highest profiting sports thing in the world, NFL. Do
that's
you know
fact.
what do you
That's
know
fact.
what the next highest gross profiting?
Soccer.
No, youth sports.
Really?
They are the second high. Think about it. I got three boys. When they get ready to play football, first thing they're gonna do is tell me you gotta pay registration fee. You gotta buy them a shoulder pad. You gotta buy them a helmet. You gotta pay this. You got, bro. And we talk about kids. So everybody got their kids playing youth sports. Got to divvy up the money. Do you know how much money traveling baseball costs? They got traveling baseball teams where they travel all
Yeah.
year round.
Yeah.
Stay Go ahead.
Between that AAU basketball.
Basketball, right? This stuff is becoming year round now. LeBron James' son been playing basketball all summer. Like they've been all on the internet. He playing in New York, and bro, it is becoming the second. It's right behind the NFL when it comes to grossing, making money. Youth sports is a monster, and
I
so
can believe that.
it's
Big
crazy.
shouts out to big shouts out to my LF in the building. Yeah, you sports. That was a jewel he dropped on me right there. But you know what? After you say that, just thinking about football, basketball, baseball, the traveling teams, AAU, and how much money is tied up in that. The fact that you got Nike, Reebok, and Under Armour showing up to these games, recruiting, trying to sponsor
Yep,
eighth graders.
yep.
You know what I'm saying? So no, it's definitely real. It's got to be drawing some money to draw out major sponsorship like that. So I can see that, but damn, like it's a
Google it when you get a chance. Just sit down and Google it, bro. Like when I was writing this book, it threw me. I'm like, youth sports behind it. You would think the NBA? No, youth sports is racking in money on top of money
and
on
you
top
think
of.
about certain places that are hotbeds for youth sports, like you said, you look at Texas, you
Yep,
look at Cali, you look at Georgia,
Florida,
Florida,
Florida.
Bama,
Yep.
like Tennessee. And then we ain't even we just talking about football in that case. Now you get in the basketball country, you gotta talk about the Carolinas, you gotta talk about the Northeast with New York, Jersey,
Yep.
Philly.
Yep.
Like, I mean,
And then you ain't talking about baseball
we ain't even got that far yet. Now,
and,
baseball, you can cover the whole country in baseball because
and,
baseballs come from everywhere.
and that's not even us. Like black kids ain't even really playing baseball like that. When you get into baseball, you start talking about the Spanish kids, the Cuban kids, the white kids, the Mexican kids. Like you know, and that might be the most expensive sport out of all of them is baseball. Because one of my partners here, his son played baseball, and man, he was just telling me how much he paid, bro. Like whew, it's crazy.
Mm.
It's crazy.
And see, in my head, I would think football would be the most expensive because of the equipment you got to buy.
That baseball is a, and I even put it in my book. Um, One of the reasons blacks don't play baseball like that is because it's so expensive. It costs so much money, bro. I never really thought about it. I hate baseball. Baseball wasn't my thing. You know what I'm saying? But when I sit down and think about it, that baseball that's a different monster. But you got to think about it like this too. Baseball pay their players the most money. They don't have
Yeah,
salary caps. One of them baseball players, I just saw it on CNN. I mean on Sports Center. He got a guaranteed contract through 2033. They
yeah,
gave him a 13-year contract.
yeah,
Like no cap. They don't have no caps.
yeah. So it's not out of the ordinary to see a 10-year, $400 million contract in baseball.
It's not, bro. It's not. And they play longer than football and basketball players because they don't have as many injuries.
Right, right. It's not any impact. There's some, but not on a regular. Like
Right.
football players, it's impact every 5 to 8 seconds.
Bro, they'll be here one year, gone the next. If you make it 3 years in the NFL, you doing something really, really good because
Right.
they longevity is not long at all.
No, when you 30, you an old man in football.
That's why what Tom Brady doing is just ain't realistic, right? That man, I'm 43, Tom Brady 45. Like he's still he's still doing it, bro. And,
Right. At
and
a
I
high
go
level.
and I go to the gym at 43, being there like, man, I'm running 2 minutes on the treadmill, about to die. You know what I'm saying? And Brady's still playing whole football games, getting hit by trucks. But that's why he the GOAT, man. He do what he do. But anyway,
That's
man,
true too.
to bring it back again to some of the athletic trap, man, I want to talk about some of my chapters right quick so we can talk about get it. So the first one I talk about is too much too soon. That's one of my chapters. It's called too much too soon.
God damn.
And we talking about why black males fall in love with sports, not education. Now watch this. In my book, I share a story about a white couple from California. They moved to the best school district. They moved to California into the best school district to put their kid in a better situation. The situation was the girl was coming home every day crying. She was stressed out. The mom and dad was stressed out. They had the syllabus of the coursework was so rigorous that the girl was literally almost about to stress out in her brain. They had to pull her out of the situation and take her to another school district. So my question is, are we burning them out too fast? Are we putting too much on them too soon? Because where they're starting to hate education before they even get to middle school. So think about it like this, Doc. When I was in kindergarten, we took naps, we colored, we played duck, duck, goose. Now kindergartners, they really want them to read before they finish their kindergarten year. Like we've sped up what they're supposed to learn and getting them to the point where they frustrated and they withdraw and they pulling back. It ain't fun, basically. When I was in kindergarten, I would put my hand on a piece of paper, Doc, and we would copy it.
Oh, the turkey. Made the turkey.
You already know.
Yeah. Draw your hand and then this be the head.
And you put the fellas on it, you already know, Doc.
Yeah.
They don't do that. They don't do that no more. Like they don't take naps. I remember taking naps in kindergarten. They don't do that. No, they stay up the whole time. Bro, they got homework coming home. Like, so we're burning them out, which is making them not hate, which is not my 4-year-old. When he got ready to go back to school in August, I said, we got, they've been up all summer, they play their game, they on their tablet. I was like, all right, AJ, because my sons are CJ, AJ, and DJ. I was like, all right, it's time to go to school. They would starting crying. And I'm like, what, y'all want to go to school? Like, no. Bro, no 4-year-old shouldn't be crying when he getting ready to go to school. Like, it should be fun. You got friends. You got we trying to make them read in kindergarten.
I'm gonna be honest. I think what happened with that
I already know what you finished.
that stressful rigor is that it's like you said, what you mentioned earlier with Korea being number 2, and then you look at particularly where we are. You know, what I'm saying, I'm in Georgia, you in Alabama, which it's the damn near the same state. It's just we got Six Flags. See, that might be the only thing y'all don't have. We got Six Flags.
Basically.
So particularly looking at the Southeast being so behind in education, they felt like, oh, we have to amp this up because we're so behind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're behind to people that are so far ahead. You know what I'm saying? So really it should be a thing of pace yourself. You know what I'm saying? That comparison is gonna burn us out while they're coasting.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like you said, we went outside twice. We would go outside for there was recess and then there was PE.
Yep.
Those were 2 different things.
They've taken that from these kids. Like some kids don't even go to PE. You know that, right? Like now they've got it where you may go to music for 6 weeks. You go to recess, PE for 6 weeks. Sometimes, bro, because my wife teaches 2nd grade, and I'm like, what you mean y'all ain't go to PE? She was like, yeah, we on a music cycle this time. I'm like, but they bro, how you gonna keep a 6-year-old, 7-year-old locked up in the classroom and don't let them outside to get some of the energy out? Like Alabama has a new thing. They just passed the literacy law. If you ain't reading by 3rd grade, you're not gonna get promoted. It is crazy, bro. It is absolutely crazy. Like as you said, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas,
Mississippi, Arkansas.
All of the
Carolina,
schools on the bottom.
Carolinas.
All of them on the bottom. All of
Mm-hmm.
them. I don't care
Mm-hmm.
what statistics you look at when it comes to education. All those states are on somewhere in that bottom portion of 51 states. I have many states here. I thought it was 50. Now it's 51. But you get what I'm saying.
It's 50.5 because they still trying to fandango Puerto Rico right now. I got my godson in the building. What up, Skip? God damn it. But yeah, so and but you know what? Here's the thing though. Now, here's the other side of that coin. Because literacy is very important.
Right,
I now that I that we have middle schoolers who can't read at this point.
right.
So it's like there's a straight line, there's a sag somewhere in there to where somewhere the ball gets dropped to where you got on one side of it, oh, we're gonna drill rigorously into some 4-year-olds versus now we got 14-year-olds that can't give you a sentence.
So let's talk. So let's talk about what really happens. You
Mm,
mentioned it before we got started.
mm.
I've written 7 books. My 8th book is called The IEP Trap.
Hey y'all, hey, you know he gonna be back when that happen, right? No, no, no. He'll be right there when that happens.
Yeah,
Cause
that
I'm
one, and man, I got people calling me like, bro, I don't know if you need to drop that one. Like you gonna, I'm like, bro, I ain't scared. Like it is what it is. But it's called the IEP trap. Now, what typically happens is by the time a kid gets to the 3rd grade, they've already developed a mindset about education. And you and I both know that prison systems and those that are in the powers that be, they actually monitor and watch 3rd grade test scores to decide how many prisons they're going to build 15 years from now when these individuals are 18,
18
getting ready,
or of age, right?
of age. So what normally happens is by the time they get to 3rd grade and they're behind, we kind of push them on into sped, you know, and you can think I'm lying, but
Mm-mm.
black males have the highest numbers when it comes to sped. Like you can go to any sped classroom in America, and you're gonna see the majority of those individuals in that class. What color they gonna be?
They're gonna be
Black
black. They're
male,
gonna be black males
black males.
specifically.
Exactly, black.
Now, this isn't my first time hearing this either. Like I remember the brother Dr. Umar Johnson that was like the first platform I heard him speaking on was them misdiagnosing young black boys with ADD and ADHD just to put them in sped.
Yep, yep. And take a step further, sped has now become a hiding ground for young black males with behavior problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
They
one
come out they come out with new acronyms every year. I never forget they came out with one, no job. It's called behavior attitude disorder. I'm like, so they just bad? Behavioral attitude disorder. They're just bad. Well,
so
fuck. What you want to
we
do at
making
this
up
point?
whatever we can to put some on these kids' head.
To put some kind of logo, to put some kind of label on there. Speaking of logo, though, big shouts out to 17 Print Shot. Yo, anytime you see this on there, it comes from right there. My boy Jason Brown in the building. Yo, check him out. 17 to Slicksville every Monday night at 9. That's some good content, man. He just decided to do his show at the same time Monday Night Football's on. But nonetheless, there's a method to his madness. 17 to Slicksville every Monday night. Check him out. Also, I got my brother Sharon in the building. What's good, big bro? So, but yeah, like to put that label and he was top. His biggest platform at the time was talking about the misdiagnosis of ADD and ADHD. Now, mind you, this was Umar Johnson about 15 years ago. They've had 15 years to come out with new acronyms like
Mhm.
bad, ad.
Bro, I tell teachers all the time, man. Like I failed the 3rd grade. I failed the 5th grade. I was in sped. I dropped out. But I got more college degrees than probably half of these teachers teaching in America. So it wasn't that I wasn't able to wasn't able to learn. I was capable of learning, but my mama was on crack, man. Your mama on crack. I don't care what day Christopher Columbus stole America. I'm sorry, I mean discovered America. You know
Speak on it.
you know what I'm saying? Like I just don't give a crap, man. My mama on crack, bro. I got more important, more pressing things going on than learning about your adjectives and pronouns. So it's a huge disconnect. But think about it like this though, bro. Why would they fix education when if they continue to keep it the way it is, the black kids are the ones that's gonna suffer. Because the black males, especially black males, have the highest dropout rate of any other group of kids.
and the highest recidivism
And,
rate.
and we also locked up at the highest number of any other. So why would I fix something? In Alabama, we have what's known as the white flight was taking place right now. All the white people are basically leaving from the inner cities and moving to the suburbs or even rural areas. White flight, they getting out of there. So the inner city, the schools are really ran by. You can tell when it started happening in your city when your superintendent is black. When most of the teachers are black, the principals are black. Then you'll start to notice a shift. The politicians start to get black. The councilmen become. That's when the white flight is happening. When the mayor black. When all the white folks start leaving, then you'll see it. That's what's happening in Montgomery right now. We got our first black mayor, superintendent black, all the principals black, and so white people are leaving. They either putting their kids in private schools, or they are homeschooling them, or they got them in rural schools. So what's happening is they not being affected by it. We the ones being affected. So why would they fix it? They
Oh no, that's by design because after white flight happens, they want this area to turn into a ghetto. So it's gonna be heavily black and brown populated,
Yep.
but it's gonna be underfunded
Yep.
to
Yep.
where the property value goes down. Then now we have an excuse to come in and gentrify
Gentrification. They're gonna buy it up for dirt cheap and then they're gonna flip it, turn it back around. We already know how the game.
and turn it back to what it was 30 years ago. Yeah, so it's a constant cycle.
It's a game, bro. Let me hit another chapter for you right quick, man.
Okay.
Validation, athletic trap. So one of the chapters is called validation.
Mm.
Listen, when I'm on that football field and I score that touchdown, it validates me. It makes me feel like I have a purpose. It makes me feel like I'm somebody. But when I get that test back and it say a 13 F on it, that don't validate me. As a matter of fact, it pretty much crushes the little self-esteem I do have. So sports, in some sense, it validates these kids to make them feel, because when they're on that football field, the teacher's going crazy, principal going crazy, everybody loving them, but in that classroom, ain't nobody cheering for them.
Nah, and it's funny that you say that because even whatever's going on in their home life, that field might be the only time that they really getting that love.
Yep.
Once
Yep.
once I cross that 1 yard line and go into the other side of that end zone, I got thousands of people up there who don't know me cheering for me. I
Yep.
got another 50 guys behind me with the same uniform cheering for me. I got my coach, like that's what I'm talking about. Because that once the lights go out, once 000 hits that clock, I gotta go back home to
Back
whatever
to
I go
normal.
home to.
Yep.
I
Yep.
gotta go back to my norm, and God knows what that is.
Right. And not to mention, when I wake up in the morning, I come to school, I got to come back to the classroom as the dumbest jock, dumb jocks, I ain't the smartest person in here. But on that football field, I'm a god. In that classroom, I'm just a dumb sped kid.
Mm.
Mm. So why wouldn't I gravitate towards sports? And I often tell teachers, because they get frustrated. I said, look at it like this. Basketball coaches and football coaches have an advantage that you don't have. They hold these kids playing time in their hand. So these kids are going to immediately respect the football coach, immediately respect the basketball coach. But you got to earn it because they don't see the relevance in what you're teaching and how that can change their life. They know how that football coach in that playing time can change their life. But
Oh yeah,
how is what you talking about going to change my life? That's how the kids thinking.
right. And it's hard to sell that even as a teacher because teaching is so not the glamorous thing. But mind you, I grew up in the primetime era. Dion was the coolest thing to hit sports when I was a kid. The coolest thing, like to me, football was about violence. And then Dion came and made it fly. It's like, oh shit, okay. And then at the same time, Dion's doing this on the football and baseball field. We look over here, we got Michael Jordan jumping from the free throw line.
Right.
They made it look so fly when it's like with teachers, they're underpaid, they're overstressed. There's nothing fly about being a teacher. This shit don't look cool. I make it look cool because
You
I
did.
might just be cool in real
Right.
life.
Right.
But to be honest, nothing looks cool about teaching. Nobody ever. I look in the last. 8 years, nobody's ever come up to me and say, "Hey, Mr. Stevens, I want to do what you do." If
Nope.
they did, you know what they were talking about? DJing.
Yep.
They didn't come up to me and say, "Mr. Stevens, I want to be a teacher like you." It was like, "Yo, how can I be a DJ?"
Yep. 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 No, and you, bro, you speaking, boy, you preaching right now, though. And but you know, the crazy thing, DJ, when we were growing up, if you asked 100 kids, you might get 20 of them to say teachers, principals. These kids ain't going for that though. They ain't going, man. They're not going for that, bro. Like, and it's sad because, like you said before, when you ask them now, basketball player, football player. Every once in a while, I get somebody say they want to be in the military, or they say they want to be a rapper. That's about the extent of what I get. Now, every blue moon, I get a kid say he want to make video games because you know they gamers. So
Right.
I get that. Or they'll say they want to be a professional gamer. They want to scream in YouTube, and I'm like, okay, you know. But for the most part, I ain't hearing no scientists. I ain't hearing no doctors. I ain't hearing no lawyers. I ain't hearing no principals. None of that, bro. None
Oh
of that.
no.
And then when I tell them, I say, well, you know, I get paid to speak, right? All I do is share my story. And they're like, man, that's a real thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what you mean? They pay me thousands of dollars to come and just tell a story. Like, that's a real thing. They're like, man, I ain't even know that exists. Bro, me neither. I'm going to tell you a job that had I known about, I probably would be doing it. A pharmacist. Do you know how much pharmacists make? And you know what they don't do? Bro, pharmacists break the bank. And they don't even do nothing. The other people do it.
I'm gonna be honest. That guy at Kroger's hitting it hard right now. The guy at Kroger that's behind the glass, they getting it in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're not even talking about the dude at the lab at Grady. No, no,
No.
no, no, no.
No, no,
We're
no.
talking about the guy at Kroger at
Yeah.
Walmart.
The one you
He's
can
getting
walk
it.
into the store and see. Yeah.
He's getting it in right now, y'all. These are facts.
Eating well. Eating very well.
Mm-hmm.
And he don't even do nothing. The techs count all the pills. He just oversee everything. And when I found out how much they make, I was like, why nobody ain't tell me about no pharmacists when I was in school?
It's one of those type things. Look, whether you selling drugs or selling drugs, it's always money to be made in
Right. Facts. Those are big facts, man.
Going back to something you said earlier about like your profession in public speaking, as you know, you was telling the kid, I get paid thousands of dollars to do what I do, but what you do is so valuable because what you do as a public speaker to tell your story, you fix that disconnect. There's obviously a disconnect from our generation, the generation above us, the generation below us, the generation that we're teaching. There's a huge disconnect.
Yep.
And they think that, God forbid, my middle schoolers think that just because I'm in my 30s. Oh man, this thing old man. But I say by the time y'all were born, I was in y'all seat. I was where y'all were when y'all were born. So, but nonetheless, I'm so old now. But you get somebody that can actually speak the language, that actually come at them and tell them how it is and how it ain't that much different. Someone who's relatable.
I
That's
know.
that's where you come in at. That's where you're so valuable because you bridge that gap. You that disconnect that's hanging down here. You bring it back up to surface level. So
I tell
big
you,
big
let me
shouts
tell
out to you on that because
you,
it's
man,
like
I appreciate it, bro. Because it's
everybody can't talk to the youth.
no, no, no. That's why when I go speak to him, I don't even wear J's for real, but I got J's on. You know what I'm saying? Immediately when I walk in, he like, who would they do with the J's on, man? Like,
Got
see,
he got them newer limbs on.
12s. I don't know what the 12s. But they get it though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I tell teachers all the time, man. Like my wife, bro, she listen to their music. You know what I'm saying? She know all their songs. She know their little dances, all these little social media crazy
The
things.
TikTok dances.
She know them though, but you got to keep up with that stuff so you can know what your kids doing. Like, bro, this social media thing got a life of its own. And so if
It
you're gonna be,
does.
you know what I'm saying, you gotta be around these kids, you gotta know what's going on, you gotta know the lingo, you gotta know what they saying, the slang words, you better be up on it. Like, and so,
Right.
but some teachers don't think, man, okay, well, keep thinking that. Now, this is the biggest thing I've learned about the generation behind us. I ain't talking about the one that came before us, but the one that came behind. I had an epiphany one day, Doc. And just listen to me. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we was growing up, our mom and dad, or just the mom, or just dad, or whoever, they instilled in us to respect our elders. That was drilled into our generation's head, which
Mm-hmm.
meant if me and you outside talking, Doc, and we listen to Master P and he talking about he cussing and we got the music loud and an older person walk by, we might turn the music down. Yeah.
We'll turn it down.
Hey, how you doing? You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
hey, hey,
Right.
hey, Miss Jackie, how you doing?
As soon as she go in the building,
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I'm gonna tell you. Say hey.
right, right. But as soon as she walk off, crank it back up.
Woo. Yeah, man. So I had the whole like this right there.
That was our generation, right?
Facts.
These babies, they were not raised under the same principles that we were raised. These babies were raised under the principle, they mom and dad told them, you don't let anyone disrespect you, which is totally different than the way we was raised. So these babies ain't playing none of that disrespect. And I know you see it all the time in middle school. Like 99% of the fights that y'all probably have is over disrespect. They said something, they did something, they
Mm-hmm.
fight, fight, fight.
Man, he was trying me. How tried you like what? That's always my face. Man, he kept messing with me. What is messing with?
Bro, they
Man, I told him don't make me mad. They made you mad or you got mad.
right.
And you know, I get it. I get it. I get it. But you know what? I'm telling you though, like, yeah, we had homies that we lost even growing up. I graduated high school. I had them in the three funerals by graduation. But never was it at this rapid rate to where kids are
No,
seeing their peers drop.
no.
But it's that part right there. The whole man, you ain't finna be talking to me like that. Ain't nobody talking to me like that. Well, now you behind the wall, he dead. That's two lives lost at one straw
Yep.
because he disrespected you. He tried you. A situation where you could have easily walked away from. And I get it. I get it that young male ego, that young ego is so combustible, so flammable
Yep.
that anything could set it off. But that's why, it was one of those things where I never forget. My mom used to always say this. She said, always think about calling me before you go to jail. Because once you get there, don't call me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Once you get there, don't call me.
Yep. I was watching a show today, and a dude on TV said, "Man, don't let 50 seconds of your life dictate the next 50 years of your life."
Hmm.
I was like, "Man, that, bro." But I get it though, because at 43, it I ain't gonna say that it ain't nothing you can do that's gonna give me because my kids or my wife, I gotta
Oh
see,
yeah.
I gotta see you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh yeah.
I gotta see you. But you would get me unraveled fast about messing with them than you will messing with me. Cause I'm like, bro, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I don't really care, bro. You can talk. I'm a girl. I'm weak. I'm pie. Whatever you want to call me, bro. Whatever. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? But nah, I ain't gonna lie to one. I was in the barbershop one time, and my oldest is 7 now. He'll be 8 in October. But he was like 1.5, and I was in the barbershop, and he was walking around the barbershop, and this dude bumped into him and knocked him down and kept walking. Didn't say nothing, didn't stop. They tried to pick him up. Bro, like I literally saw red. Like, I'm like, but again, that'll probably get me unsettled faster than if you say anything to me. At 43, bro, it's more to live for. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
people blow their horn, they got roll raid, they cussing. I ain't got time for that, bro. Folks shooting folks over nothing. And so,
Man.
and I try to tell these young folks that, man, like, again, back to what we were talking about before the camera came on. I'm not trying to take showers with you, bro, for the next 20 years of my life. You understand? I'm not trying to sit there while you use the bathroom and you 2 feet from me using the bathroom
Right.
and I got to sleep, right? I'm not trying to do that.
I mean, if it means anything, I'm not trying to figure out how to get you cigarettes on the inside.
Bring it into they call it your jail pocket, bro. You figure out what your jail pocket is.
Ooh, I will never.
You know,
Not the jail pocket.
at the end of the day, though, man, we both are black males. You're an educator. In some essence, I'm an educator. We're educated black men.
Oh, you were very much an educator, sir.
Yeah. We have not always had it together. We didn't come from a silver spoon in our mouth, but we figured it out. And
Indeed.
at the end of the day, if these young black males, I just want them to know it's life beyond where you are now. Um,
It's so much more to life.
man, one of the most powerful things my brother told me was, he had homeboys that he would die for when he was out here in these streets. Like he was the enforcer. So if somebody got into it with somebody and they needed him to, he'd go jumping off. He was the enforcer. He
He a
said, "Man,
muscle.
I had dudes that I would die for." He said, "But when I got locked up for them 10 years, ain't nobody come see me. Ain't nobody write me a letter. Ain't nobody put no money on my books but my brother and my sister." And when he
Mm.
said that, I saw the pain in that man's eyes, bro. Like these are dudes that I went to jail for, and I missed time with my family. But when I was locked up, ain't nobody think about coming to see me but my family, the ones that I got. And so, young people, listen. I know y'all down for each other. That's your homie. You would get locked up and see how they turn on you.
I told a group that one time that all these folks you claiming that you would ride with and die with, and going in over females or whatever. When you get locked up, the first thing your girl gonna do, she gonna jump to the next hustler.
Them
Like,
facts.
because obviously you can't do what you used to do no more because you locked.
Yep.
She ain't gonna hold it down. She gonna ride for you. It ain't like she go pick up the bag and keep running with it. No, 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 no.
Put money on your books. Ain't nothing happening, man.
Hell no. Nah. She gonna ride to the next hustler. Like, I'm gonna be honest, that whole Gucci man thing, that is an anomaly. The fact that she did hold him down and he came home to 10 mil waiting on him and his wife, that's an anomaly.
Don't happen.
People, it don't happen like that.
Don't happen like that.
It don't happen like that.
That's not
So,
a movie, man. That's a fairy tale, man.
man, look, the Gucci man story. That's the only place that happens.
But
But
see, the kids so far removed from reality, they'll think that that's real life.
that happens once in 100 million whenevers. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it normally plays out. The norm is your girl's moving on to the next hustler, who could in fact be the nigga you went to jail for.
Big facts. Or your homeboy. Or your homeboy. Because
Yeah.
she just trying to protect herself. You know what I'm saying? She don't do
She's
and
trying to.
don't hey, don't
She's,
mess around and leave some money in the stand, tell her where it at. You might get out and don't have nothing.
whoo. Yeah, that's a done deal. It's a done deal. I had to do what I had to do. Did you have to do it all?
Bro, man. So, but listen, we coming up on almost an hour, Doc.
Yes,
And
sir.
so I'm gonna leave it like this, man. I'm gonna say this. As a black community, I think we got to do better. I think that we in a rough place, but but we got to find a way, like you said, bro, to get these kids back on track because they the future. I'm 43. You in your 30s, like we ain't 16 no more. They are literally our future, and
Right.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It was a time in American history where, as a black male, I can drop out of high school and go out here and get me a job putting up roofs on the back of a truck, cutting grass.
Mm-hmm.
It was a time that I could do that and be very successful. That day is dead. Let me tell you something
Mm-hmm.
if you don't know what's going on. The Mexicans are currently getting all the labor jobs. When you look at work trucks right now, you see them full of Mexicans. Ain't no more blacks on the back of them trucks. Ain't no more blacks putting up no roofs. Like Mexicans have taken over. So
Mm-hmm.
as black people in America, we got to find another way that we got to shift. We got to pivot because the labor market is no longer catering. They don't need us for labor anymore. They got the Mexicans, and
These are
so
facts.
you got to educate yourself. Now, on one end, you got the Mexicans who taking the labor jobs. On the other end, you got technology who eliminate bad boys. Because think about it. When I go to the grocery store, I don't have a bag. I don't have a cashier. I don't have a bag boy. Doctor, I
Oh,
got to take myself out.
oh yeah, and it's getting to the point now to where the stores are going to be full self checkout now.
Yes. Yeah. Some of them already like that. Some
I,
of them, I don't even see a cashier. Like you don't even you just now they got one lady standing over there with a little machine watching you everything you check out. But I don't even some of them I don't even have an option to go through a cashier no more. Technology is eliminating jobs on one end. The Mexicans eliminating the labor, got the labor force on lock on the other end. You figure out what I'm trying to say. You
yeah,
better you listen. It's finna get real in the next couple of years when it comes to jobs. And
yeah,
so
and it's one of those type things like we gotta shift that paradigm to where they won't think of just okay, this is glamorous. I want to do this as far as athletics and entertainment because there's so many other ways, so many way many more ways to get paid.
so many, bro.
And the thing is, you don't have to have anybody own you to do that. You got to think your favorite athlete, somebody owns him. The guy he works for is his owner.
Yep.
In the NFL, he works for the owner, the dude that owns that label. Your favorite rapper kicks up to him. Matter of fact, he gets paid before your favorite rapper does. He doesn't kick up. That man had to drop down a little something. Go on, go get your little Tesla or something. Get you a couple of chains,
Yep.
little Versace.
Yep. Yep.
Nah. So I mean, get out of that thing to where you have to be in entertainment with sports and entertainment because you're gonna be owned by somebody.
And
And that's going to be the less glamorous part of it. Now, getting that touchdown and or hitting the stage with 20,000 in the crowd, like that's the cool part. But
yep.
then behind closed doors, it gets ugly too. But meanwhile, you got to respect the man over at Georgia Power making 65,000 and doing all right with life.
Ooh, yes. Maybe more than that with overtime. Them jokers get paid.
Yes, they do.
They get
Yes, they
paid
do.
too. There's a lot like, bro. And I'm gonna tell you the God honest truth. We've gotten so far away from plumbers, electricians, heating and HVAC,
Oh, HVAC. Come
and
on
they
now.
make, bro. Call a plumber right now because some of your house gets stopped up and see how much they charge. They taxing. They taxing because we have a shortage of them because the school system has been pushing college for so long that we've neglected the trades. And now there's a shortage of trades, and trades. A welder can probably make $150,000 with an associate degree right now, real easy.
You realize is one you left out, and I witnessed this the other day. Tow truck drivers.
Well, bro, they not
You
playing.
gotta you gotta think that's 200 to $300 a trip.
And it probably gonna be no more than 15, 20 minutes.
Hmm.
They're not going all the way out of state. Like this, you break down on the other side of town, take you 15, 20 minutes. They tax it.
Yeah, it's at least $200 to $300 when he come get you.
And if they own their own truck, they make even that much more money.
Hmm.
Because
Tow
some of the
truck
truck,
drivers,
sometimes they
locksmith.
drive other people, but they own their own, bro. But again, you just talked about it. The chapter one, the last chapter 8 in my book. I don't know if you can see it. It says what's chapter 8? Lack of exposure.
Lack of exposure. There it
Chapter
is.
8, lack of exposure. You just talked about it, but these babies just ain't nobody exposing them to pharmacists. Not legal street pharmacists. Uh,
Right, right. I'm
nobody.
telling you, that guy in that lab coat at CVS right now. You think it's just because he had CVS and it's all quiet and smart? Yeah, all right. He making mail at CVS,
And he in the air condition and he chilling, bro. And he
chilling.
ain't doing no work for real.
And you know the slick part about it too. You see all them little farm techs be coming out like the schools like Everest and GMI and all them. The little farm techs be looking kind of thick in them scrubs. So he got eye candy and he's selling dope all day
And don't think they not,
legally.
and don't think they don't know he getting paid. They looking at he. You think he ain't touching none of them if you want to.
Come on now. She making 16 an hour. He making 75,000 a year.
No, try 130, like
Even,
100 plus.
even,
He's
even better.
he got a Tesla out there. And
Come on now. Come
so
on now.
they know what he making.
Hmm. And she thick in them scrubs. There's something about scrubs. Every woman look thick in scrubs. Like
You ain't never lied.
it's one of them things. Like, all right. I got my brother Latik in the building. Peace to the God. What's going on with you, boy? But yeah, man. Like I mean, they have to know that there is more, and that's to be honest. That's where it goes a step outside the classroom to the counselors, to the speakers, to I mean, career day. Career day is such a career day ain't what it used to be. I'll put it like that.
I was just gonna say it could be so much more than what they bring in a banker, they bring in somebody dad, but it could be so much more than like you said, man. If I was a principal, career day, it'd be off the freaking chain.
Oh yes.
Man. Listen, I'm finna give you the game on another profession that people sleeping on. My lawn man, I got a dude come cut my grass. I could cut my own grass, but he been cutting my grass for 10 years, support black businesses. He a brother, I know him. So one day, I'm just talking to him. I'm nosy. I'm like, wait, hey, his name Ray. I said, Ray, you charged me $60 to cut my grass. You here for 5 minutes. Literally, Ray got three dudes. One dude edge and one dude cutting the grass, and another one got the blower, bro. They 10 minutes, they pull up, cut, they gone. And I ain't got no little yard. So I said, Ray, you charged me $60 to cut my grass for about 10 minutes. How many yards a day you do? I'm trying to count his money now. He was like, I do between 20, 25 yards a day. I said, so 60 times 25. He said,
Mhm.
no. He said, you got me twisted. He said, I charge you 60. Some people I charge 100. Some people I charge 200. It just depends on the yard.
Oh
Bro,
yeah, you get the discount because you the homie.
so I'm thinking though, bro, if you charging folks 100 and you doing 25 yards a day,
That's
that's
25
25
a lot.
bands tax
20.
free
Mm-hmm.
a day, bro. I said, how much you make a week? He just smiled, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that's a profession don't nobody want to do. It's hot as hell out here in the summertime. But that man out there again, bro. This is the type of stuff ain't nobody teaching these kids, and so they want to know real dollars. They don't want you coming there talking about I make no. Tell me real dollars. And so
Right.
now you're a teacher. Do you
Mm-hmm.
think do you think that the onus should fall on the teachers too to expand pay outside further than just teaching them the curriculum and we talk about real jobs? Do you think a teachers could do that? Is that something that you think that they can do as well?
To be honest, the teacher has the ability, but would the administration allow it?
Go back
That
to leadership, right? Yeah.
yeah,
You talk about
that's where a teacher's hands are tied at a lot of times. That will the administration go for this, or are we just strictly
keep them in the box.
right? Strictly teaching standardized testing and
Right,
look, they have to know this for the milestone. You
right.
know what I'm saying? Like that's what they push for every year starting in, we got the Iowa coming up, then the milestone, then yeah, benchmarks at one time. So it's like I mean, because the thing is there needs to be something like that. Like I mean, and like I said, career day was the thing for us. We used to have career day and we had this thing called rapping with the stars. To where they would get like one of the local DJs from V103, which was the hot radio station, the big radio station at the time. They would get somebody from Channel 2. They would get like for real local celebrities, a guy playing for the Falcons,
Mhm.
and they would come to the school and talk to us. And then we'd have a legit career day. My dad would come every year. My dad was in law enforcement, so he would always come every year. But like just regular people in the neighborhood, your friend's mom, who we didn't know that she was a banker. Like she works upstairs at the bank though.
Right, right,
She's
right,
not a teller.
right, right. She
Like
does sing, but you ain't know she had the bank, right?
right. Your mom's is up there handling, what I'm saying, 8 and 9 figure accounts. You know what I'm saying, making sure everything flows through on the next day. So that's one of those things where it's like I said, it starts at the classroom level. I say it will start there because you got to have teachers willing to do it and teachers versed enough to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then admin has to allow it to happen as well to get these kids into knowing that it's more than just dribbling the ball or rapping.
Have you seen that commercial that Procter and Gamble they just recently released?
Mm-mm.
It's on my page, my Facebook page, but somebody sent it to me because they said it reminded them of my book. But it's a black kid and his dad, and they're playing catch. And two white guys walk by, and one of the white guys says to the little black kid, "Take care of your hands. They're going to take you places." And the dad kind of looked like it's more to my son than just his hands, but he didn't say nothing. But then he started talking to his son, and he was like, "Son," his son was like, "Dad, I got hands. I'm good. I'm going to the NFL." And Dad was like, "Yeah, you can, and that's what you want to do." He was like, "Son, but it's so much more than what you can do than playing the NFL." And then he said, "Son, go deep." And when the son go deep, he literally the scene changes and he runs to this black guy that was a painter. Then he runs to another guy that was an astronaut, black guy. Then he runs to another the LeBron James guy that he put on with the contracts, Rich Paul.
Oh, Rich Paul, yeah.
He run to Rich Paul and say you can manage multi-million dollars. You ain't just got to play. You can do this. He also said, "What about being an owner?" And then they said the stats of how many blacks actually own sports teams. It's deep, bro. Because he's telling his kid, you don't have to just be the athlete. There's so much more that you can do. But when I saw it, I was like, okay, about time now we starting to get the message that we got to expand our young black male's mind beyond just catching a ball, shooting a hoop, or rapping.
Rapping. And
They're
even in the music industry, god damn, the music engineer, he gets credit on the album.
what's the dude name that's killing? the boy, bro, the one that make beats make more money than the rappers, right? They make more money.
Some of them do. Some of them do, because I got a rate up front for me to make this beat. Plus,
Right.
I get 25%.
Off the spins, right?
I get 25% off the publisher.
off the back end, yeah.
Hmm. So man, but yo, this is what I want to do though, because we'll definitely be back for a part 2 through 100. But I need you to let these people know, and I'm gonna type it in the chat. Where can they get your book, sir?
Bet that. So first of all, again, thank you, bro, for sharing your platform with me. I don't take that lightly. Anytime somebody share your platform with you, that's a big deal. Again, my name is Craig Boykin. My website is craigboykin.com. CraigBoykin. There you can find all, I think I got 6 of my books. One of my books I don't promote. I wrote it with this lady. She done took the money and ran off. Now I don't know. I don't even promote that book no more. But the other 6 books you can find on my website. You can follow me on Instagram at GED, the number 2 to PhD. You can follow me on Twitter at GEDTO PhD. Facebook is CraigBoykin.com. I think I got the max amount of friends, so you got to just follow me. Listen, I really do appreciate the time, bro. I look forward to chopping it up with you again. And it ain't got to just be about education, man. Listen, bro, we can talk about whatever. I'm
I'm
down.
about to say, yeah, you actually cool in real life.
Yeah. We can talk. It's so much more to you, boy, man. Listen, I did one of these shows one time, Why Me and Cheat, bro. That was a deep show. Like we just basically talked about Why Me and Cheat, bro, and it was good because at the end of the day, I learned, man, men cheat not because of the insecurities we got. It ain't got nothing to do with the woman. She can be doing whatever she want to do, bro. But if that joker got insecurities, he gonna cheat till the cows come in. But anyway,
Right. But that's one of those things that will not be on the dope show, because the dope show believes that black men do not cheat.
well, I ain't gonna tell that lie. I ain't gonna tell that lie. But boy, I had a whoremonger problem.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
Doc, I tell people I ain't never smoked weed. I ain't never smoked no drink, no alcohol. I ain't smoked cigarettes. I ain't robbed nobody. I was,
uh
you know what I'm saying? Like
so
I
that's what your street vice was.
women, bro. Listen, when the dope boy was out there in the club slinging dope, I was at the house with the dope boy girl. Like that was me. Like I like women. That's why I can't go to prison. I told you that. Like it would be a death sentence for me, bro. Like,
Yeah, closest thing to hell.
but look, man. Like I said, man, we can talk about whatever. Chop it up, man.
But yeah, man, yo, and I look forward, hey, y'all know DJ Agony and I already ordered the product. So I got 2 books on the way right now. And like I said, man, we gonna when that IEP book come out, we gonna get it in, bro. Like, you know what? If you get banned, I'm going with you. With a book in my hand too.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yes, indeed.
True
Yes,
hurt.
indeed, man.
True
Oh,
hurt.
it always does. It always
So,
does. But it hurt till the swelling go down, as an old head told me once. You know what I'm saying? But yo, y'all stick around for Wednesday night. Wednesday night, if y'all missed it, go back. Global Vision TV on Facebook and watch DJ Agony on Beer and a Conversation as we started one of 3 discussions on hip hop and more or less leaning into where the women are going with hip hop and where they place and this, that, and the third. Like I said, y'all, I got called a hater last weekend because I said I wasn't impressed by Meg Thee Stallion. So they said I was a hater and I was out of touch. So this Wednesday, we have a bye week, which means the quick 30 will be going down this Wednesday. And the topic will be top 10 female artists that I think are better than Meg Thee Stallion. Followed by next Friday night's dope show, me in that corner, it'll be Music Monk doing that thing we do again. So if you missed that last episode, go to YouTube, look up. I think it was March the 11th episode of the Dope Show. Me and Music Monk the first time, and so we got stuff on the way, y'all. We got stuff on the way. Be on the lookout. And if y'all notice, tonight is the first night that we have streamed from all 3 platforms. So you can catch us at Dope Enterprise on YouTube. You go to my personal Facebook page and also Dope Enterprise on Facebook. The Quick 30, which we also stream from YouTube. So now the Quick 30 will be on all 4 platforms. Yeah. It's gonna be dope everywhere. It's gonna look like 1988 all over again. I'm telling y'all. But we gonna keep it positive though. Remember, dope. We driven on positive energy. That's what we do around here. We keep it right. But any closing words for him, brother?
Megan Stallion just thick, man. Anybody listening to nothing she talking about, bro? Anybody studying her? She just thick. That's the whole thing. Only reason I watch her video just to see what she got on, bro. Nobody ain't listening to nothing she talking about. I guess I'm a hater too. Am I lying? Tell me if I'm lying.
That's all I watch it for. That's all I'm here for. Like fuck this shit.
Like, I can't tell you one lyric she ever said, bro. But I can tell you the outfit she had on though. But
Yes, Lord.
that's
Yes,
their
Lord.
generation though, bro. Like
I'm gonna be honest with you. When the first time I saw the WAP video, it actually came through as a YouTube ad. Needless to say, when it showed up in the bottom corner, you may not skip this ad. I didn't. Sat through that whole video.
so that's what they doing, bro. Like they ain't got the lyrics like the old school, so they gotta sell sex. I ain't mad at them though, whatever they gotta do. Like, but no, she ain't no. You ain't putting Megan Stallion up against nobody lyrically, like none of her songs and none of
Nah. So yeah, top 10 female artists better than Meg Thee Stallion next Wednesday, followed by we gonna get deeper into the meat of that list come Friday with me and Music Monk next Friday right here live at 8 o'clock, man. But yo, I had Craig Boykin in the building. Well, no, my bad. Dr. Craig Boykin in the building. And I don't know why he didn't put it right there in that little box. They give you space.
I feel you.
Because you notice right here in my box, I'm gonna put DJ Agony.
I see. I see. Bro, I'm from the gutter, bro.
It's one of those type things. I couldn't, if y'all noticed this week's flyer, I couldn't fit first and last name in there without it dropping to a second line. So I said, yo, he gonna be Dr. Boykin today. Everybody figure out who Craig is later. But as I like to end every show, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. I am DJ Agony. That is the Doctor Craig Boykin. Hold up that book one more time so they can get a good look at that cover. Because after that, hey yo, check the comments. That's the website. Go get the book, The Athletic Trap. And check out the other books that's on there as well, except for the one where the lady took all the money and ran. And that one's coming to the house as well. I have that on my list. So yes, go check out the books, y'all. Like, hey, and he'll be back right here soon enough. As soon as he get that IEP trap written, or it might just be one Friday night. And I was like, hey, let's see what Craig doing, y'all.
Let's talk about being a black dad. I got 3 boys. I ain't never had no dad, so that's a learning experience. I'm down to talk about whatever.
Right. Hey, we always here. As long as I got a platform, you got a seat, brother.
I'm finna go in with your wifey, baby. Enjoy yourself. Have a good Friday night.
All right, you do the same, brother. Enjoy yourself. Be safe out here. Yep. All right, on the next one. Peace.